Hello, my name is Linda Dolke. I'm a demonstrator with Stampin'Up here in Australia, and welcome to the video tutorial bundle. I'm going to be showing you a little cute card today. I've used the beautiful Blizzard stamp set and bundle, and I'm going to be making this cute little window card with you. So enjoy the video and welcome to this month's video tutorial bundle. So today I am excited to make this card with you. It is a window card and I have a real love for window cards. They're one of my favourite types of cards. So you can see we've decorated the inside so you can see this little snowflake and background through the window. And it's really easy to make. So I've actually gone ahead and done my big shot cutting. So I've already cut out the snowflakes and this frame. I'll quickly talk about how I did that. But if you need to pause the video, if you're actually making this as I go, then just pause the video so you can do the big shotting when you need to. But we are starting out with a piece of Whisper White. I've used Whisper White thick cardstock, and this is half a piece of A4 that has been cut exactly in half, and then I have folded that half piece, and I've already gone ahead and I've cut the square, the window, out of my piece. Now if you wanted to, you could do this as a circle as well, which would also look really nice, but I used a square today. Now to cut my square, I've used the two largest square cutting pieces from the Stitch Shapes squares. Now you could also use the layering squares. Any square nesting dies that you have will work for this, but I really love this stitched line that, if you can see it here, gives you that gorgeous stitched edge. Okay, I really love that. And these, in my opinion, are the best framelits that we have. I love lots of different ones, but these are my favorites. You get 4 circles, 4 ovals, and 4 squares. There they are. These are the 2 biggest, and then we've also got 2 smaller ones. So I've gone ahead and I've cut with these 2. I've used the smaller of these 2 squares, and I have cut a hole here. And if you're wondering where to cut, I don't measure for this type of card. All I do is I line this up in the middle of my card, so I've got the same amount of distance here, here, and here. So it's centered in that top half of the card, and I've kept it higher so that when I come to this later, I've got plenty of room down here to stamp my sentiment. So really easy to do. You just do it by eye. And of course you need to make sure that your card is open when you run it through, or you'll end up going through both layers, and that won't be what you're wanting at all, unless you have a very unique idea for a card. So I've gone ahead and I've already cut my window with that smaller framelit, and then I used mint macaron cardstock to put these 2 framelits together. And when you put the 2 together, it cuts between those 2 and we are left with this frame. So really easy to do, to cut those. The other thing you're going to need, the larger of the 2 squares, so this time just the larger one, I've cut a piece of acetate, which you may find difficult to see. Let me just put it against this magnet piece. So it's a piece of acetate. It has given it that beautiful stitched edge, but it doesn't matter because we're going to be covering that up anyway. So now I've got these pieces cut, the window, the frame with those 2 framelits, and the larger square for the acetate window. Okay, these are called window sheets. We have them in our annual catalogue. But what I wanted to do today is introduce you to this gorgeous, beautiful Blizzard stamp set and the matching framelits. Okay, this is a lovely set in our current holiday catalogue, and it comes as a bundle. I'm popped the price of the bundle up on the screen for you now, and you can see the framelits are these lovely intricate snowflakes that you can use in so many different ways. It makes a beautiful background, but you can also cut out the snowflakes in their own right and use them individually. So they're fantastic. I've already gone ahead and I've cut a piece of our Tranquil Tide glimmer paper, which is this beautiful glimmer paper from our holiday catalogue. And if you look here, you can see I've already gone ahead with those framelits and cut it out. When you're using these framelits, because they're quite intricate and this glimmer paper is quite thick, you will need to run it through a couple of times. Your other option would be using the precision plate, but personally I didn't. I just used my own normal platform and just ran it backwards and forwards to make sure I got a really good cut, and double checked before I removed the framelit that it had cut all the way through, and it had. So I find that that's quite good to get that cut out beautifully. Now we need to make sure our card is open, not closed. Open it out. And I'm just going to pop it on some, I've got grid paper here, but any scrap paper behind will work well. And I'm going to be using mint macaron. And this is a really great light green colour with a sort of a blue base. The darker colour I'm using today is Tranquil Tide, and that's also a blue base green, and the two colours look beautiful together. And I'm using this kind of, I would call this a grungy stamp, and I'm going to be going around the edges of my piece. Now you want to come out a little bit because we're going to be covering up the middle edge with the frame. I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to be covering up some of these stamps, so you want to come out a little further than you might otherwise. Do I want any more? Maybe a little. Just a little bit. Just to give you a bit of a, like a, almost looks a bit like a wreath around our frame there, a little, if you use your imagination. And then I'm using the Tranquil Tide, the darker one, and I've got these lovely scattered dots. And I'm going to be just making sure, be careful with the scattered dots that you don't get extra ink on the outsides of your stamp. I'm just going to pop a few of those around the edges as well. Making sure every now and then that we haven't got too much ink on there. And turning your stamps a little bit so that they're not all looking the same, not all facing the same direction. So you can see it looks really pretty, just a few dots all the way around. And then the next thing I'm going to do, I have here my acetate window, and I am going to grab some glue dots. I realised I've just finished up a roll of glue dots, so I'm grabbing another roll. I go through lots and lots of these. Glue dots are the best. I don't know if you've used them, but I find them absolutely fantastic. Now I'm putting one of these in each corner. And the easiest way to apply glue dots is put your item onto the dots and then pick it up and the glue dot will come too. And that's the easiest way to use them. So I've got one in each corner. And don't worry about the fact that you can actually see those. I'm just centering it so it's directly over my hole in the card. Okay, push it down firmly. And then you could use glue dots for these as well, but in this case I'm actually going to use snail because I want to make sure it sticks all the way around. And then I'm going to put that over the top of that acetate piece. So I'm lining that up with the edges of the hole as well. Now the reason I'm doing this is it covers up that acetate edge and makes it a nice neat window. Looks kind of finished. Okay, so that's how that looks. Now we get to our glimmer paper. I find the easiest way to get, because it is a thicker substance, the easiest way to get this out is to literally just push it through with your fingers from the other side, and it comes out quite easily. So if you just sort of ease it out with your fingers, and because I said that, it broke. That's all right, we have more than one of the same ones. We have a couple of each in most cases. See, I made a liar out of myself then. I was a little rough with it. So you do have to be gentle, but they should come out easily. There we go, that's better. I was a little bit more careful that time. And then maybe one of these ones. The smaller ones are a little bit more sturdy. And I think one of these. So I've got 3 medium size. I haven't taken any of the really big ones out. There's 3 of those. I've not used them yet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in with my glue dots, and I am going to add a glue dot here. And where will I put them? I'm waiting for my children to walk in the front door. I was hoping I might get my video done before they arrive home, but not sure if I'll beat them or not. And then another one down here. Now there is actually a hole in the middle of these. If you don't want the hole, if you don't want to push out the middle, I find if I leave the hole in, then the glue dot is hidden. The other option is, if you want to take the hole out, you could also you could pop a rhinestone or something like that in the middle of your snowflakes, which is quite pretty. All right, so then we have our 3 snowflakes. Isn't that cute? Now I'm going to use the Tranquil Tide, which is the darker colour, just to ink up my greeting, which says Season's Greetings. And pardon the back of my head while I lean forward and get directly over my project. Just straight down with that, and you can see how nice that's looking. Okay, now we're not quite done. Inside here, I wanted to put something to see through the window. So I've actually used another grungy stamp from the same set. So here is the set. Okay, it's got these couple of grungy stamps, which reminds me of Gorgeous Grunge, for anyone who remembers that stamp set, which was one of my favorites. But these are just beautiful. They, when you stamp them, they kind of do light and dark. And also there's some cute little snowflakes and swirls and some great little sayings. It's a really lovely set, and not even all that Christmassy, because you can use Thinking of You with Love all year round, and a couple of more wintry type sayings which aren't necessarily Christmas. The only one that's actually Christmas really is Season's Greetings. The rest of them you can use at other times of the year. Okay, so I'm coming back into my lighter colour, my Mint Macaron, and I'm inking up my stamp, and I want this to be seen through that window there. So I'm going to be using this right across this page in the same area here that the window is. Just like that. See how I mean about the light and the dark just from the one stamp? It gives you those beautiful gradation, I think, of colours. And also I'm going to use one of my snowflakes from the piece here. Now these ones are, the bigger ones are a little, you have to be a bit more careful getting those out. They do come out, but I like to push them all the way around the outside. And then there's a couple of pieces here in the middle, and I just sort of pull those out. There they are, almost done. And you could use a glue dot here too, but I would like to actually take that piece out of the middle and leave the holes. I'm actually going to use my snail. Just to, you could use other things, you could use Tombow, but for the purpose of this exercise we'll just use a little bit of snail on the middle here. But if you find that too tricky, maybe Tombow, fine tip glue would work well. Okay, now to get it right in the middle, I find if I pop it on the back of the window in the place that I want, right in the middle of the window, and then close my window. Yep, that's good. Push it down from the other side, and now it's in place. And my card is done. What do you think, guys? It's a cute, simple little card, but I really love the way it turned out. I hope you enjoy making yours too, and I hope you enjoy all the other fabulous video tutorials in this bundle. If you are in Australia and you have a demonstrator, contact her to get this set for yourself. Or if you don't have a demonstrator, you're very welcome to shop, of course, through my online store, and I'll put that in the comments. Thank you guys. Have a lovely day. Bye.